Hello all, welcome to another FFT Arena matchup. This time on top we got Shintroy's team known as Baron's Request. That's me. I'm the guy that told him to make this team. On bottom we have Corosar's team, which is known as Soul Squad. Alright, so to look at the two teams, first off we got Mai the Squire, Hans the Thief, R the Samurai, and Full the Paladin. Alright, this is only the one time that Shintroy only wants to show this off, so I figured since I did request him to make this kind of a team, I'm going to be the one recording it. Also, the reason why I requested it, because I want to see items that are rarely used. Like in this case, a Squire with two swords, Mage Matcher, which I'm going to be talking about first. Mage Matcher, I feel, is very underutilized. The Bees and Bow proc's going to be pretty cool, given the amount of damage it can do. And plus with the Squires with the 8 MA, it's not, Bees and Bow should actually be doing pretty decent. It should have hit a lot. She does primarily use talk skill for I think it's just threaten blackmail and mimic Darabon. There we go. Very fast with the 10 speed, 2 swords, so she can definitely run up in there and cause a little bit of havoc. And the talk skill chances are actually pretty good, all things considered. Undead Thief, Two Hands Lionheart, basically a pseudo two-hand Qatar for those that remember the 1.38D patch from a while back. 14 PA, so this Thief should be doing some good damage. Two-hand Warpath will ensure he will do even more damage. He has an HP Restore the Boot as well. I'm pretty certain he has Sigma Magic, Chakra, Sigma Magic, and Revive, and I think Quickening Steel Heart. I think. Undead, so he has a good chance of getting right back up when the counter reaches 0. The Samurai, not sure why you would give her counter magic. I guess unless you're looking for like faith-based spells missing, and then she can just counter magic right back at the enemy. I think counter would have been a little bit better. Would have been a little bit of a better choice, because then she can just simply counter attack. 5 moves, so she can just rush in there and then possibly proc Ultima. We've seen Rex use this in the single class challenge tournament. She does have focus, so I guess it will increase the Ultima damage output. And she still has draw like Murasame and Bees and Boat, I think. Something of that sort. But she should still do a decent number of damage. And finally, a White Mage Paladin with 2 swords. Platinum Shield, Platinum Sword, and Moonlight. I think is a good combo considering that he could go in there. Should he get hurt enough, the Blade Beam proc should be doing some good damage. He's the White Mage of this one, so to speak, with the 2 swords. And decent HP too. Cross Helm provides exceptional MP. It's a time stun for auto shell. That's fine, I guess. I think Leather Mantle would have been okay, because you would like some evasion. But then again, you want this guy to get hit and have the Blade Beam proc go off. So it is what it is, I guess. Plus he has raise 1. So there should be a good chance that these two can get right back up. The Thief can just get back up on his own. Meanwhile, we'll talk about Corosar's team, which has Alexander the Paladin, Patches the Lancer, Saint Urbane the Priest, and Big Hat Logan the Wizard. One thing I wanted to point out, Corosar, I did PM you this before, but your Lancer was 50 JP over the cap, so I just lowered the vertical jump level by just 1, so that way he'd be at even 3,000. Same thing with this Wizard. You had Wizard Robe and Robe of Lords. I think that it was obviously a typo on your part, but they both count as armors. And I think since you had counter magic, until you can make the changes yourself, I just let the Wizard have Robe of Lords for, great MP. And then just let him keep the Genji Gauntlet, so that way it would support the idea for counter magic. Because obviously you want to avoid spells and then counter magic right back at them. Back to the team itself, though. Holy shit, 495 HP Paladin. Moonlight, Concentrate. Pretty awesome. So we're looking at over 500 damage potentially. Obviously, should he get hurt? I think Salty Rage would have been cool. And then, Warpath's fine, don't get me wrong. But I think Salty Rage would have been cool. That way this guy can keep going in and keep hitting people despite being injured. You probably should have just. I was about to say suggest switching Warpath with Flea, like one of Domi V's Paladins from the Single Class Challenge tournament. That was a really awesome and innovative way to use someone with Moonlight, especially if you running Concentrate. I mean, 12 PA is still fine. Um, Genji Shield, minimum evade, so I suppose. Counter is a good reaction ability because obviously you want this guy to counter any physical attack with a Moonlight shot, with a regular physical attack, and then possibly proc Blade Beam. That is good. That's good. The chances are going to get a buff next patch because the chances are just pretty low. 33% is not good at all. Undead Lancer. Flame Shield's cool for covering the fire weakness, but new problem with that is you'll be weak to ice. Just so you know, Crystal Shield is a much better option because then you can at least not have to deal with any elemental weaknesses at all, and you also be immune to oil in the process. But Flame Shield again, while solves one problem, it adds another. At least it's the way how I look at it. Also has a bunch of steel moves like Quickening, Steel Art, Steel Accessory, and all these stat ruins and some jumps. He should wait. Oh, 40 Brave. Yeah, he's not gonna do that good amount of damage. I think you're trying to design this Lancer for him to basically go for the stat ruins, but stat ruins are better suited on units that have no physical offense. I mean, Lancer is a physically offensive unit. I think that you should have taken out the stat ruins and given him like overwhelm or something if you want him to do some insane jump damage and increase his brave to 70. That's just me though. I know you like making unique units, but unique doesn't always mean it's going to be good. Sometimes something typical can be better. Again, it depends on what you're doing, honestly. I'm a bit skeptical about this Lancer personally. Other than that, Flea will increase his movement by 3 when he's in critical. I just don't know how often the critical AI will attack. I think it has to depend if he's the last unit or so. Talk skill Priest, Magic Defend Up Pilgrimage. I feel he's a bit incomplete because you could have added in like Finger Guards or Regenerator or something because you still have like 400 JP left in the on this unit. You could have added in something to it, like I said, Regenerator or even Finger Guard because of the JP constraints. But he's still pretty fast at what he does thanks to the Healing Staff. 10 MA, so his talk skills are a pretty decent percentage. Angel Rain for the re-raise, not too shabby. Magic Defend Up, Pilgrimage though, I guess just to increase the odds of like raise 2 and whatnot. Magic Defend Up is a good combo. It does complement the Priest's Magic Tank. He could have been much more of a Magic Tank actually if you gave him like the Time Sin and then Flash Hat White Robe. He would have been a real Magic Tank in that regard. And then this wizard, I briefly explained this one already. He can counter magic with magic attack up. He only has flare, but he also has a bunch of yin yang spells as well. I took off blind because again, you guys was over the JP cap, and blind is pretty useless on a yin yang magic user. Bleh, can't talk today. Everything else about this wizard I think is fine. Move MP up obviously supports the idea of counter magic. Magic attack up, so this guy can really wreak havoc. Magic attack up, I don't think affects yin yang magic though. It only affects like base damage output. Like it affects geomancy, it affects summon magic, it affects draw out, things like that. I think short charge would have been better on yin yang magic user, and especially if you were taking out flare, and then you just add in short charge and then just keep the yin yang magic stuff. Then again, you could swap the same thing with an oracle and then have summon magic as a secondary or whatever. We'll see how it does overall. And we're over 9.5 minutes in for analysis. Sorry, but it was my first time looking at the two teams. For Shintroy, it will probably be the last time I would look at this team, so this is my only chance to do it. We're going to map 93, broke down shed wooden building. So we shall see what happens. 10 minutes in already. Alright, Patches goes first. He's goes for Speed Rune, which is pretty neat. 224 damage, pretty good right there. And Mimic Darabon catches the Priest right off the bat. Yeah, this is where Finger Guard would have been pretty helpful. A little bit of Transfusion from the male Paladin. There's a Masamune. See, the Wizard, I think, is looking for Flare here. And this one's looking for Raise. Does hit. Patches will get immediate another turn. Goes for a poke. Then hands. Oh yeah. One hit KO. Flare takes out the female Squire. The Priest has re-raise, obviously. And Wish does connect. Nice Cure 2 action. Alexander goes for Transfusion. So I guess the goal behind this guy is Transfuse, and then when he goes on the attack, trigger Blade Beam. That's actually a pretty good idea. Oh, but there's a wall in the Thief. He's going to get a turn, and he's going to wreck his shit. Lance actually goes for a jump. But, oh wait, will it combo with the Flare? Yes, it will. And down he goes. Sometimes it is cool being proven wrong, I guess. Priest goes for a raise 2. Very high odds. It does hit. The 495. Jesus. No counter magic. That would have been nice for Shintroy in that regard. Alright. Looks like another flare is coming up. And full. Oh my god. That's a big counter with a big Blade Beam proc. Mimic Darabon doesn't catch anybody. That's unfortunate. The Squires aren't even going on offense right now. Down she goes, and the poke. Breath proc misses. Oh, that's because of the rubber shoes. Okay. Murasame, a little hurt and heal action. Holy for only 134. And down he goes. Yeah, things are not looking good for Shintroy here. Flare hits. Oh, counter magic flare. But not for a whole lot. Down goes the Samurai. So, Corosar does take round 1. We'll go to round 2. See you there. Alright, so round 2 is about to begin. Now let's see what happens in a larger map. Map 79. Yugo Woods. So, Corosar handily dispatched Shintroy's units because the Mimic Darabon simply just did not land. There's a haste from the Squire, which is pretty cool. And a nurse. So now the Paladins can regenerate both HP and MP. Little Masamune action. There's a jump from Patches here. And a yell under the Thief. More nurse. Obviously, it's just to heal up the damage that was already done. Here's a Besom Bow. For some reason. Oh, because the Lancer can't use the ruins. That's right. That's right. Okay. And a block. Awareness definitely helped out, I guess you can say. There's a jump. And there's a holy. Mimic Darabon. Oh, HP restore. Nice. And it happens twice. Huzzah! Thief moves in. It nearly killed the wizard there. And this time a wall under the samurai. There was no counter magic on the samurai either. That's pretty bad. Down goes the wizard. And a block. Woo. And the thief is very fast. He can get a turn in very, very shortly. The squad's gotta rush all the way forward. And Mimic Darabon puts the thief, the paladin and the wizard to sleep. Oh my god, 536 damage sleep bonus. Hello. 74% raise on the Lancer. Raise 2 hits on the, that paladin. 165 damage takes out the sleeping wizard. Oh, Charm. If had Charm land, that would have been pretty bad for That would have been pretty bad for Shintroy. Raise 1 does miss, but oh, another block. Jesus, RNG. No damage from the Blade Beam because the Paladin's not injured. Huh, a revive. Silly AI. But it does soften him up for the raise, though. Mimic Darvon does miss, so the raise 2 should happen. No Ultima proc either. That's another thing that should be buffed, the Ultima proc chance, because... Oh, and Lancer jumped out of the way of the raise. Very nice. Oh, that counter. Too bad. Wait, Preach? Okay. And a Mimic Darvon. Oh my god, catches all 3 units. That's a big break for Shintroy. There's the Ultima proc. That Mimic Darvon. That's exactly what Shintroy needed here. And I caught all 3 units too. Holy shit. Bees and Boat. Too bad there wasn't a second Bees and Boat proc. That wizard would have definitely... Oh, 593 damage again. Yeah, everything is just going Shintroy's way now all of a sudden. So, that Mimic Darvon really sparked the comeback for him. Another flare, but it won't matter. 266 damage, and... Alright, so we are going to a round 3. See you guys there. Alright. It's the battle to sell it all. We are in map 106, Delta. Shintroy clutched that second round with a triple sleep proc. That Mimic Darvon, the Squire, very good. She's at 10 speed, so she can actually get these off at a decent rate. With this being a bigger map and certainly a lot more spacious, it's going to be pretty interesting because the Squire has actually separated herself from the rest of the party. Unless she can get some Mimic Darvons in. If she gets some Mimic Darvons in, I think the rest of the crew can arrive on time. Or Blackmail, that can work too. But I think Mimic Darvon's better for just stopping them in their tracks. The Thief might be able to rush for the aid, but... I don't know, Samurai and Paladin have... Well, Paladin in particular have pretty bad movement. We'll see, though. Lancer only goes for a Speed Ruin. So, no HP damage, at least as of yet. The Wizard should be in range for a Flare very shortly. Blackmail again. And the Squire runs off to the side, at least for the time being, to avoid enemy damage. Meantime, though, the Thief gets a free whack end, and the Samurai can use Focus. That way, Ultima can do more damage. Here's a Flare coming up. The rest of Shintroy's units are still trying to get into place here. There's a quick Transfuse. There's a Flare. There's an HP Restore too, though. So nothing was done. And that Wizard almost went down. Almost. Not quite, though. Lancer maybe to jump out of the way, and he does, of the raise 1. Water Focus from the Samurai. Obviously, she's looking for Ultima procs. That's the main goal. Here, too, it was hopping off the Thief with a Flare, unless he... Yep, drops the Wizard. Thank you, Haste. So Shintroy, so far is definitely in command, and as a Mimic Darvon, does not put the Wizard to sleep. Paladin just goes for a full Nurse, because he figures, why not? Another Speed Ruin, 100%. I think, isn't Speed Ruin always 100%? That's actually a bit interesting to look at here. Lancer's in critical. There's a raise 2. Wizard's back. Squire's in range. Mimic Darvon. Doesn't catch anybody. Another Transfuse. Lancer goes for a Charm. Works. Paladin is right there for the Asuna, but... Lol, wish for pitiful damage. There's a raise 2, though, from the Priest. Squire, is she going to be able to cancel? No, she can't because she's out of range. Race 2 misses a thief. That has to be very good for Shintroy. Let's see. Thief will rush in. Just enough to kill the wizard. Warpath is kicking in. And Corosar is not looking too good right now. Let's see. Will the Squire be able to cancel it? She puts the Paladin to sleep, but the Race 2 still goes off. So Wizard's back, but the Thief can still put him right back down with just one swing. Oh, shock got blocked. That could have procced Ultima, possibly. Nope, Mimic Daredevil does not work this time. And the Paladin does a raise. See, Big Hat goes for a flare. Raise 1 misses. The Thief can just shut down the Wizard for whatever attempt he's trying. Two-hand Lionheart, 14 PA, and Warpath is doing wonders. The Masamune might be what Shintroy needs here. We'll see. Mimic Daredevil not working. Yeah, Corosar is definitely stuck in a res loop here. There's a speed ruin, but that won't affect the fact that Thief can just still take care of the Wizard. Squire can just move back and just cancel the slow with a yell, inflicting haste. See, Shintroy is steadily going to win this one. The priest actually is right on MP too. That's another note to be made, is that when you run out of MP, wizards or mages in particular are pretty useless. Shintroy's definitely doing a very good job at keeping Corosar's team at bay. The Lancer, wow, is doing a good job at moving out of the way of Race. His Refute gets rid of the Masamune effect. Shouldn't matter too much. 442 damage. And there's a revive. Charm misses this time. Corosar does not get lucky. There's a... Okay, more focus from the Samurai. There's a raise. Lancer's in critical. Oh my god. Preach. Preach on an undead Lancer, not a good idea. Never a good idea. You just made the man very vulnerable to raise or even a raise 2. Thief can chakra because he has nothing better to do, I suppose. One last focus from the Samurai. Refute gets rid of Masamune, but I don't think that will matter at this point, because Shintroy is definitely going to win. No need for a Bees and Bow proc anyways, as if it would matter. Yeah. Using Preach on that Lancer, never a good idea. Oh, Heal and Staff Whack for a good amount, but no HP restore, surprisingly. Given the Thief already has like high Brave at this point. Yeah, he's had max power. Guess Shintroy just got a little bit unlucky with the HP restore not going off. Considering it should be like a max 70%. Now the Lancer grabs the crystal. Flea definitely kicked in there, but again, because of the fact that it's 283 damage, that's still very good. Now the raise 1 should happen. The Lancer can't even do anything because he's don't acted, and that will be the end. So Shintroy wins. My requested team does prevail. Corosar, definitely an interesting team, but I would rework it a little bit to make it a bit more effective. Or even if you are going to do something with the priest, maybe cut down a couple of his spells and give it like MP restore or anything like that. Or even switch out pilgrimage to like move MP up or something. Definitely could use some work. It's a cool concept, but definitely can use some work. Well, that's that. GG.